Hey everybody, I'm going to make Bigfoot. Got my paper-oriented portrait, because this is going to be a portrait of a Bigfoot. Also, Bigfoot is taller than he is horizontal, so makes for a nice picture to have it be taller than it is wide. Normally I start with my thick marker and I go back to my ballpoint pen, but I've really been enjoying just doing some loose sketching, so I'm going to go ahead and get loose. I'm going to just put my Bigfoot's eyes close together. Something kind of like this. And I'm going to give my Bigfoot a big nose. I'm not sure why, but I feel like he should have a big nose with some big funny nostrils. Also, I think Bigfoot's a nice guy. I've never met him, but I think he's going to have a big goofy smile. Okay, so Bigfoot is just kind of like a big hairy person. He's kind of like part ape, but tall person. So I'm going to take this big person head and I'm just going to draw a big kind of hairy person body. So I'm just going to rough it out here with my ballpoint pen. Take it on down to the all-important big feet, right? Bigfoot's got to have big feet. If he doesn't have big feet, is it really a Bigfoot? Right now my Bigfoot doesn't have any toes. Let's put some toes on there, some circles. And this is kind of like doing my first draft right on the paper where I'm going to put my final draft. Do you hear my family throwing the dishes around? Goodness. Is that any way to treat dishes? That's like how Bigfoot would do the dishes. Slamming stuff around. Okay. I'll just put some Bigfoot hands down here. Alright, Bigfoot's gonna have big long arms too, right? And if his toes itch or something, he's gotta be able to scratch them. Okay. So there is my rough draft of my Bigfoot. I'll come back to this line in a moment. But first, let me go and do some stuff here with his eyes. Fill in his eyes a little bit. Just thicken them up. Now that I've kind of chosen where I want his eyes to be, I can go ahead and start filling them in. There we go. That's a happy Bigfoot with his goofy little tooth there. Okay, now I'm going to switch over to my big line. My big line for my Bigfoot. And once again, you can kind of follow those lines. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's whatever you want. This is like my second draft. This will be the second draft of my Bigfoot, so I'm kind of following where his lines were, but not exactly. It doesn't have to be exact. You might still make mistakes, like see right here? I'm not crazy about this line that I did right there. That is okay. We'll go back and fix that in a moment. Right now we're just kind of putting in the second draft of where we want our Bigfoot. There we go. Come down here and do his big toes. His Bigfoot feet. Feet are hard to draw. Like notoriously hard to draw. But you can't draw a Bigfoot without drawing feet. I mean, it's right there in his name. Can't get away from it. Alright, let's go back now with that ballpoint pen. So Bigfoot's going to be big and hairy, right? Got a big hairy chest, big hairy arms, hairy head here. So I'm going to use a lot of these scratchy lines. I'm going to start in from the outside of the limbs and kind of push in some real long, thin strokes of hair. Alright, and I can also kind of go back here in the shadows along the edge of my Bigfoot and start putting in some scratchy hair here and there. Up here by the face I'll make it hairy, but I don't want to get it too hairy. I do want there to be, you know, lighter, smaller hairs in there. Because if you do the same kind of long, flowing hairs here, it's going to look strange. Alright. Now, I like to just keep going back and adding more hair to the places that I left blank, and the places that I've already done, I can go back and make darker, thicker, more lines closer together to kind of give you that sense of a shadow. And in the areas that would fall into, you know, Bigfoot's shadow, you know, sides of his legs, under his chin, maybe under his nose, and just darken those up. Keep adding scratchies there. Good. Not a bad Bigfoot. Not a bad Bigfoot. Again, I'm not like super crazy about this drawing. This face here, it didn't work out quite the way I wanted. And I'm not nuts about this part over here. But you know what? I think all in all, this is a pretty good Bigfoot. One thing left to do, add a little shadow, and then we're done. So now, if anybody ever says they don't believe that Bigfoot is real, you can show them this picture and prove to them, oh yes he is, he's real. Alright, thanks very much everybody. Have a great day. See you around.